Straight ahead on CCX News, a deflated feeling. Nearly 50-mile-per-hour winds caused damage at the Dome in Maple Grove. Plus, your first peek at a couple of new businesses coming to Robbinsdale. But first, lawsuits filed by 2 officers shot inside New Hope City Hall. These lawsuits are a Minnesota first. CCX News starts right now. Thanks for joining us. 2 injured police officers have filed a lawsuit against the gun dealer that sold the weapon used in the 2015 New Hope City Hall shootings.
The suit alleges that a gun shop allowed a Golden Valley man to purchase weapons illegally for a man who was not allowed to have one under state and federal law. Eric Nelson has more on the lawsuit.
Alex and Mike Bo Schoenhardt and Joshua Ernice filed the lawsuit today in downtown Minneapolis. They claim that Troy Buckholtz, who owns Full Metal Gun Shop, sold 3 guns through an online auction to a straw buyer. Now, that straw buyer was 42-year-old Michael Garant of Golden Valley, who pled guilty to selling the weapons to 68-year-old Ray Kometz, a man with a history of mental illness and numerous run-ins with New Hope City officials.
What this case is about and what it ultimately boils down to is responsibility and accountability. It is about enforcing the laws that are already on the books, which are intended to keep firearms out of the hands of people the law clearly says are not allowed to have them.
Now, back in January of 2015, the New Hope City Council meeting started out in a very routine way, as several police officers were there to see 2 new officers get sworn in. But things quickly became traumatic when Kometz entered City Hall with a 12-gauge semi-automatic shotgun and opened fire outside the council chambers. Officer Schoenhardt lunged for Kometz's weapon and was hit by friendly fire that shattered his wrist. Meanwhile, Officer Ernice was hit in the shoulder by more than 50 pellets from Kometz's shotgun. Over 30 of them remain there today. 2 other officers fatally shot Kometz.
I think about this injury every day. It hurts every day. I look at it every day, and it's something that my family and I have to deal with every single day. This lawsuit is about doing the right thing and holding people accountable.
This is, again, about holding people responsible to doing the right thing, not just cutting corners, taking the easy route, and making a few dollars.
Now, Schoenhardt has since left the New Hope Police Department. He's now an officer in Edina. Meanwhile, Ernice is still part of the New Hope Police Force. This is the first time in Minnesota history that a civil suit has been filed against a gun dealer.
Right, thank you. The owner of a former Golden Valley lighting company has pleaded guilty to stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars from his employees' retirement plans. Wallace Gregerson ran lighting affiliates until it closed 2 years ago. According to court documents, Gregerson made false statements to financial institutions in order to withdraw more than $675,000 from his company's profit-sharing plan and another $80,000 out of his employees' individual 401ks. Gregerson, who lives in Plymouth, used the funds to pay for country club membership dues, sports tickets, clothing purchases, and tuition payments for his daughter.
New Hope police have arrested a man accused of breaking into the city's public works building. The incident happened just after 2:30 a.m. on Tuesday. Police can't say much because the suspect hasn't been charged yet. However, they do say the man was in the process of removing items when police spotted him. Officers recovered all of the items. The suspect does have multiple felony burglary charges on his record. Burglary charges from this latest case are pending.
Brooklyn Park Police continue to attempt to calm fears over the city's immigration policy. At a public discussion on Monday night, the Brooklyn Park Police Chief points out that local officers do not arrest someone solely for a violation of federal immigration laws. Chief Craig Endelson also wants to make sure that anyone, regardless of their immigration status, will feel confident in contacting them about crimes. Still, there remains anxiety and concern among some Brooklyn Park residents, many of whom are new immigrants.
People are kind of apprehensive about what the role of the police will be in effecting this executive order, what the role of the city is going to be in all of this.
When there's a lot of fear and emotion, sometimes if we're not getting the information out, people sometimes tend to fill that void with information that they're either given or that they get off the internet or something like that. So I think that fear continues until we have the opportunity to get out there and just talk about our policies.
The chief doesn't believe the city's policies will change based on discussions like the one Monday night.
The Maple Grove Sports Dome is temporarily closed after high winds deflated the roof.
Of course, we're surprised to see it down. It's disappointing.
Contractors surveyed the damage and found at least 2 major tears. They think the problem started with a rip on the east side of the building, and then the high winds made it worse, deflating the dome. The dome is very heavily equipped with beams, wiring, and lights.
The wind starts to sort of push the fabric more, and we could see the lights swing quite a bit on camera. And then the rips start to happen, so we had a couple spots where you could see that fabric was torn away. And then of course, once the wind hits that, you know how that works, that really would start to rip more.
Luckily, no one was inside the dome when it deflated. Crews are hoping to do repairs when the winds calm down. They are under a tight deadline to make repairs before snow is in the forecast this weekend. Well, it doesn't feel like boating season outside today, but it may be closer than you think.
This is what Crystal Lake looks like in Robbinsdale. The recent warmer weather and Monday's rainfall left the lake almost completely free of ice. We did find a thin crust on the south end of Crystal Lake near Lakeview Terrace Park. Weather experts say ice out records are likely to be set on area lakes before winter is officially over.
We've had a warm winter. We haven't had a lot of snow, which normally would insulate it some, but it's been a warm winter, and February was the third warmest February in my record dating back 60 years. So that combined with these really warm temperatures has certainly weakened the ice, and then with the wind that we've had of late, that really can chop it up. And so it's partly a warm winter where the ice didn't get a chance to get very thick, and then a very warm late winter in terms of February.
Here's a look at Medicine Lake in Plymouth from the webcam on Joe Hardy's bait shop. Most of the lake is open water, but the wind has pushed ice to the east shore. Hardy says that could result in dock or shoreline damage in some places.
In Maple Grove, there's a huge effort to tackle what the city calls a huge problem. On Monday night, the city council approved about $31,000 to remove buckthorn. It's a small invasive tree that prevents other native trees from growing. The city will remove buckthorn from 75 acres of forested area that the city owns in northern and southern sections of Maple Grove. The $31,000 is expected to be a one-time cost.
The family behind Robbinsdale's Wicked Wart Brewery is now several weeks away from opening a couple more businesses right next door. Wickedly Charming Boutique and Bean There Coffee Shop are set to open at the end of March along West Broadway in Robbinsdale next to Wicked Wart Brewery. The 2 new businesses will be run by the wife and the daughter of the owner of Wicked Wart Brewery. The boutique will feature designer clothing, jewelry, purses, and candles, to mention a few things. And the coffee shop will feature coffee from the Minneapolis-based Spy House Coffee Roasting Company. Well, coming up, common questions about over-the-counter medicines. We walk with the doc to get answers next.
And then a little bit later in sports, get set for the start of the boys' basketball playoffs.
But first, a cold correction, chillier and still windy on Wednesday.
A trip to the pharmacy can be an overwhelming experience for someone simply trying to choose an over-the-counter medication to treat a symptom.
Not only are there varieties of choices, but people also have to worry about how a new medication might interact with a medication you're already taking. In today's Health Check, Elaine Cleveland sought the advice of a local pharmacist on what people should know.
Today we're going to be talking a little bit about over-the-counter medications.
If you've ever felt overwhelmed at the local pharmacy while searching for an over-the-counter medication, you're not alone.
There are aisles and aisles of over-the-counter medications to choose from, and sometimes it can be difficult to know which would be the best for your symptoms or what would be the safest for you to take.
Pharmacists say there are more than 100,000 different over-the-counter medications on the market.
There are so many different options out there for over-the-counter medications, it can be so confusing.
Micaiah Kastner is a pharmacist from Allina Health. and it's her job to help patients find a medication that not only treats their symptoms, but that's also safe and affordable.
I think one of the biggest things to remember is that these are still medications, so there can still be side effects from these and still have interactions with other over-the-counter medications or prescription medications, and so we still have to use them with some caution. So first tip, check the box. Second tip, make sure to have a good list of your over-the-counter medications.
That was one of the messages Kastner shared at Plymouth's monthly Walk with a Doc event, where people came to hear her speak and share their concerns about over-the-counter medications.
What concerns me most is blood thinning medications.
Well, my foremost concern is that my prescriptions won't interact, that there won't be side effects that will affect the use of other medications.
Avoiding negative side effects is one of the primary reasons why Kastner recommends reading the info on a package.
When you look at a package, always make sure you're reading the directions so you know what dose to take. Especially for liquid medications, it's super important to have a proper dosing instrument. You can get that at your pharmacy.
And if you're still in doubt, don't be afraid to ask questions.
They put the over-the-counter aisles really close to the pharmacy for a certain reason, and it's so that you can ask your pharmacist questions.
In Plymouth, Delane Cleveland, CCX News.
Coming up, the many hands that molded and shaped an effort to fight hunger.
But first, the Wayzata boys hockey team is headed to the state tournament. John Jacobson has that and more up next in sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. The Wayzata boys hockey team won the state Class AA title last season, the first in school history. As Jay Wilcox reports, the path to state was a little different for the Trojans this time around, but they're back for more.
Not a lot of teams with losing records make it to the state boys hockey tournament. The Wayzata Trojans acknowledge the regular season had its ups and downs, but they're playing very good hockey right now and enjoying every moment of the ride.
Yeah, you know, we went through a lot this season and we don't have the best record, but it just shows how hard these guys work and how we're willing to get to where we are now.
We've always had a lot of fun no matter if we're losing or winning, and I think we finally found our stride and we just came together as a team. And I like how we're playing.
The Trojans advanced to the state tournament by taking down a Lake Conference rival they'd lost to 3 times this season when they beat Edina in the Section 6 AA title game.
The jubilation that our guys had after the game was, definitely can't be scripted. So that was really cool for them. And like I always say, watching the kids, reactions to it and, the smiles on their face and the fans. And our crowd was so phenomenal on Wednesday night over there. And so, yeah, we're really excited for this week.
It was super fun. I mean, it's kind of fun going into a game where no one thinks you're going to win, but deep down inside you know you're going to win. So I think we just prepared well and came out fast.
Now the opening tournament game is against another Lake Conference team, and the team Wayzata beat in the championship game last season, Eden Prairie.
I was actually pretty happy. I love playing EP. It's always a really good game, and there's going to be a lot of fans watching.
That's what I expected to happen, and we're excited about it. It's an opponent that we know pretty well, obviously, and we're excited for it. And obviously they have, probably the most talented team in the state, but we'll be ready for them on Thursday.
The Wayzata guys have had fun this season even when they were losing more than they'd like. They're taking renewed confidence into the state tournament. Jay Wilcox, CCX Sports.
Wayzata and Eden Prairie play at 6 o'clock as the first game of the night session Thursday in the Class AA quarterfinals. We'll talk with state entrant Maple Grove starting Wednesday at 4 o'clock here on CCX. It is playoff time in boys basketball. Several teams in the area are or have been ranked, with a real possibility of 4 local teams advancing to state. In Section 5-4A, Champlain Park is the top seed. The Rebels are the top-ranked team in the state, and they're followed in the seedings by Park Center and Osseo, then at Centennial, Moundsview, Roseville, Spring Lake Park, and Irondale. In the quarterfinals Wednesday, Champlain Park hosts Irondale. Osseo is at home against Roseville, and Park Center hosts Spring Lake Park. The semifinals are next Tuesday at Maple Grove High School. Wayzata is the top seed in Section 6-4A. Hopkins is second and Armstrong third. St. Louis Park is fourth and Washburn fifth. Cooper is the number 6 seed. In the quarterfinals, Wayzata is home against South. Cooper travels to Armstrong. In an all Robbinsdale district matchup, Hopkins hosts Southwest. The semifinals are Saturday at Osseo High School. And Maple Grove is the top seed in 8-4A, with St. Cloud Tech second, Rogers third, and Elk River fourth. This section gets started tonight, Tuesday, with Maple Grove hosting Moorhead at 6 o'clock. The semifinals are Saturday afternoon at St. Cloud State University. In Class 2A, Brooklyn Center is the #1 seed in Section 5. The Centaurs host a quarterfinal round game on Thursday night. Annie Isler was the point guard on Hopkins' first state championship team in girls basketball back in 2004. Now 13 years later, she's part of the Royals coaching staff as the team shoots for another championship. Jason Bilillo profiles Isler on this week's Sports Jam show on CCX. Here's part of what you'll see.
Isler played 4 seasons at Carleton College and then coached on the collegiate level before coming back to Hopkins. Head coach Brian Cosgriff says he has a father-daughter kind of relationship with Isler, and that can lead to some interesting exchanges on the bench and at practice.
Yeah, I think it's been good for me this year because, my assistant's been with me a long time. And so it's good to get some new, fresh blood. She's like my daughter, and we're going to butt heads probably every day, but that's okay. It's not personal. It's about trying to make this program better.
When you have that creative tension, you have the ability to challenge somebody. They make you better. If we were all yes coaches and this was a yes program, you'd never have the best ideas. But it's all love. I mean, as much as we challenge each other in a way that creates what's best for these kids, we've made each other better.
You can watch the rest of that story and much more on Sports Jam. It's on through Wednesday at 3:30, 6:30, and 9:30 p.m. on CCX Sports Channels 12 and 799 and online at ccxmedia.org. Mike and Alex, back to you.
All right, thanks, John. Still ahead, part pottery lesson, part fight against hunger.
The end result when we come back. And finally, a popular annual event that helps local food shelves.
Hundreds of colorful and creative bowls are displayed at Cooper High School as part of the 7th annual Empty Bowls fundraiser.
Wow, someone put a spider in there.
Not a real spider, of course, just some artwork inside the pottery, but that is one of 800 bowls made throughout the year by students and adults in the community for the Empty Bowls fundraiser. Earlier this afternoon, volunteers were unpacking all the bowls to get ready, and you can head to Cooper High School until 7 o'clock tonight, that's Tuesday evening, to pick out a bowl of your own and make a free will donation for a soup dinner. All money raised goes to benefit PRISM and Near Food Shelves.
This school district has 52% of students that are on assisted lunch, and our food shelves are very, very busy. So anything we can do, they turn it into things they can purchase, like milk and things that are hard to put on a shelf and store.
The goal is to raise $20,000 tonight. That does it for us.
We'll see you again tomorrow, everyone.